Hello, welcome to day 4. I am DelusionDispeller. Actually, my name is Laura Beth Colbert, but I'm also known as DelusionDispeller online. I am a life coach, an author of Eyes Wide Open Moving Forward, as well as this life course, How to Move On After the Abuse is Over. Today, we are going to talk about boundaries, not the ones you should already have set before you met the narcissist. No, these are boundaries for yourself after the abuse ends and from now on. Boundaries set up in order for you to keep clear on where you and another person begins and ends, what you're all about, your likes, your dislikes, deal breakers, preferences, and beliefs. Listen, let me ask you something. Do you feel guilty because you haven't gone along with somebody on what they want to do if it goes against your belief system? Do you find yourself agreeing with people so that they'll be okay with you? Do you tend to zip your lip in fear of criticism from another person? Do you fear confrontation or being mistreated or devalued if you don't do everything a person wants you to do? Do you cower in the presence of others? Do you allow yourself to be interrupted during a conversation, even though everything you have to say is equally as important as what anybody else is saying? Do you interrupt others constantly? Or do you call people up and just manically talk their ear off because you just have to be heard? Do you constantly compliment others or give them gifts, but nobody ever gives back to you? Do you constantly use people or for money or things? Do you resent people for trying to control you, but you don't have the courage to cut them out of your life? Do you feel like you should have known and you should have seen the signs coming when this abusive person entered your life? It's perfectly normal. Don't beat yourself up. Talk to yourself. Ask yourself who you are, what you enjoy, what your favorite foods are, what you like to do, who you like to hang out with, how you like to spend your time. And you might find out that if you have this solid in your own life, when that other person comes along and tries to steal those things away or change those things in your life, that you have a firmer foundation to stand on what you believe and you're not as easily swayed the next time. Set boundaries and stop people pleasing. Realize that you did the right thing by ending things and leaving. Know that taking revenge is going to likely backfire on you and bite you in the butt in the end. Remember, narcissists do not show their true self in the beginning, so how could you have known to begin with? You couldn't. You are not the only one who ever fell for that narcissist. They are very skilled at what they do. They have honed it to a fine science, like I've said before, and there is nothing wrong with you that you didn't immediately catch on to what was going on. So the boundary you're going to set for yourself is to accept yourself and love yourself and realize that you are doing the very best you can with the tools that you have. Before you met the narcissist, after all, you didn't know you would need these tools, right? Even if you did see some red flags, chances are that you are the good guy and the abuser is the bad guy. So, this is entitled, this particular day, this is entitled Setting Boundaries. And part of setting boundaries is letting go. So let's talk a little bit about what that looks like. First of all, the narcissist tried to steal your name, your money, your sanity, your well-being, your spirit, and your freedom. You might feel like you want to make them feel something, anything, or you might even want them to hurt like you did. This is all very normal. Don't beat yourself up for it. I did the same thing. Unfortunately, if you do take revenge on the narcissist, it's not going to help things for you. Stop trying to repair things that aren't going to be repaired. It's not your job. It's not your obligation or your responsibility. Your responsibility is to take care of you. And after all, if you don't do it, who's going to? Realize that abusers abuse simply because of one thing: because they can. They've gotten away with it so long that they know they can do it. And there will be people that stand by them and sing their praises and build them up when they feel lost after you leave or after they throw you away. There will be somebody there to tell them what wonderful people they actually are, even though they're not. But you know that you are a wonderful person. Narcissists are skilled and talented and cunning and able to get away with what they do simply because they have enough people there in their corner who actually believe that they are legit, or they're too scared to confront or oppose them, just like you were. The best plan will always be to leave when you can. Boundaries are so important. I can tell you from personal experience, when I tried to set a boundary with the narcissist in my life, she didn't want anything to do with it. In fact, she told me, nope, no boundaries. I've always had friends and we've never had any problems where we had to, put restrictions on each other. And I love you even more than all those other friends. So why start now if I haven't done it before with the other ones? Now, the problem with that was I was ready to have a relationship where things were balanced, where things were sensible, where we were honoring each other. She didn't want that because a narcissist never is in a relationship to relate. They're never in a relationship about love or commitment or building a future together. They are always about getting that never-ending desire for narcissistic supply. The praises, the accolades, the look at me, I'm so wonderful and so talented, and I'm the best at this, and I'm the most beautiful or the most handsome or the richest or whatever. It's always about fame and fortune and image with them. So your boundary for yourself is to realize that it's time to let them own who they are. It's time to let them own their own issues, own their own problems, and realize that you can never fix another person. You can only work on yourself. And it's so important that you do that. Because if you don't have these boundaries in place, if you don't know what you like, what your favorite whatever cookie is, if you don't know what your favorite color is, if you don't know the friends that you enjoy hanging out with, if you don't know how you like to spend your time, if you don't have that firmly implanted in yourself, someone will come along and tell you what to believe. And after all, isn't that what kind of got you in the trouble to begin with? You were looking for somebody to form who you are. You were looking for someone to tell you that you are a worthy person. And those are the very people that narcissists look for as victims. They're the very people they look to prey upon, are the people that lack a backbone, lack understanding of themselves and love for themselves. If you love yourself, there is no way, listen, that a narcissist will ever get a hold of you. Seriously. They don't look for people that are standing on their own 2 feet. They look for people that are insecure, hurting, broken, maybe recently thrown away in another relationship that they can come along and play rescuer with. That's what they're all about. Narcissists are not genuine people, but you are. And that's why it doesn't make any sense to you. How can this person do this to me? How can they just throw away everything we had? How can they pretend that everything we just experienced in this past however many months or years it was just meant nothing? How can they do that? Basically this, they've objectified you. They've turned you into an it instead of a she or a he. And when you objectify somebody, you can abuse them without thinking twice about it. It's like squishing an ant, which I don't even do that. I hate killing insects. But a narcissist sees you like that little ant. They think you have no feelings, and what's one less ant in the world? I can get other ones. That's literally how they come into the relationship, and that's literally what the relationship is based upon, is the fact that you are there to do their bidding, and when you stopped doing that, you were useless to them. It wasn't that you became a useless person or that you became somebody that was undesirable in any relationship. It's that you stopped serving their purpose and now they have to go and find somebody else that is willing to let them tell them who they are and what to do. And that can't be you anymore. You've got to love yourself. It's time to let go and move on. It's time to set those very important boundaries. Do it for yourself. Do it for your future. The narcissist is just basically standing in the way of what is really meant to happen in your life and what is really promised to you in the future. Just see them as that hindrance that's standing in the way to what is really meant to be there. And you won't ever fall for another plot or ploy of the narcissist. They will not be able to dupe you if you really know who you are. Stay tuned for day 5 coming up soon, and that will be entitled Healing Your Neurons, something that's so important to understand, that there is more to this whole faulty relationship abuse recovery cycle than meets the eye. It really is neurological. Let's talk the next time on day 5 about healing your neurons. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.